She joined the 4th series of Call the Midwife last year, but Charlotte Ritchie's love of the programme began long before that.
She was a lifelong fan of the show who apparently couldn't get through an episode without a box of tissues.
Like many. Now, alongside her on-screen success, the actor is returning to the stage, bringing Noel Coward's comedy Private Life. Delighted to say that Charlotte joins us now on BBC Breakfast.
Morning.
Good morning to
Hi.
you. What attracted you then to this on-stage role in Private Lives?
Multiple things. It was firstly, I felt the biggest, most selfish reason was that I felt quite inexperienced in theatre. I've done one other play before, apart from just at school, and I thought it was time that I kind of really had a go at doing that side of it. And it is such a different discipline from being on set and doing TV, which is so fast-paced.
It's a bit nervy then, considering you haven't done much of it.
I mean, so terrifying. And I don't know how that's possible, but even just the first day in the room with other actors who've been doing it a lot, and but it's so much fun, and it's so nice to have rehearsals and have time to really kind of get to grips, and it kind of brings out lots of things from the script that I might not have got from a first read. So.
Oh, that's very interesting. So that differs from television in the amount of rehearsals that you have as well, does it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I heard that there was a golden age of telly and sitcoms where you got like a week to rehearse, or a few days anyway.
Yeah.
But we get probably a kind of quick line run, a quick blocking through, a bit of a rehearsal, and then you shoot it. So. Depending on which show, but it tends to be pretty fast. Oh, well, that's good. That's the idea. If it did look like that, would be terrible. So, yeah, so it's nice to have, we have 3 weeks, so it's really, really cool. Yeah.
We'll talk about Call the Midwife in a moment, but tell us a bit about your character, Sybil Chase. Who is she? What does she do?
So Sybil is she's a newlywed. She's just married Elliot Chase, and they're on their honeymoon. It's their first night together, and she's quite young. She's kind of inexperienced. On first reading, I thought she was very stupid. But I think she's not maybe as stupid as she at first seems. And Tom Attenborough, who's directing it, was really keen to kind of bring out a more intelligent side of her and make her and the character Victor, who's played by Richard Teverson, kind of bring them out as more real people rather than kind of stereotypes. And they kind of became comedy characters as the play went on and was performed, but he's kind of bringing it to a more serious, so it should be good.
How will you deal with the nerves? Do you have any special thing to do or not?
Not yet.
No.
Just get out there.
Yeah, I think I mean, the first time I did a play, the very beginning thing that happened was my hat fell off in the blackout, and it was meant to be the cue was me putting my hat on, and I was crawling around on the floor
looking for
about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and that was my first ever performance. I thought, it can't get worse than this, so ideally do something really bad at the very beginning and then feel like
it's over, isn't it?
Gets better. Yeah, so that's the idea. Yeah.
Tell us about the new series of Call the Midwife, because I've had a little sneak preview.
Yeah, no, it's looking good. It's really lovely. I saw the Christmas episode was on Christmas Day, and that was just very sad. It kind of involved Sister Monica Joan going missing, and she's such a kind of serious and essential part of the Nonata's house, so it was an emotional episode. But the whole series just covers 100 things. It's really wonderful. Let's
have a look at a clip from the new series. It starts on the BBC a bit later on this month. Can you get through this without a box of tissues? Let's test you on this.
I hope so.
If we can retrieve even half a dozen potential bonnets from this lot, then we can throw ourselves at the mercy of the crepe paper for the rest. Oh. Perfect.
You really are a wonderful person to have on your side when the chips are down. And the very best thing of all is you've not once said, why can't the children make their own Easter bonnets?
Well, they can't, can they? Or at least some could. But some would be left out because money's tight or things aren't right at home.
So you were a massive fan of the programme before you were ever in it?
Yeah, it was really sad. I had to pretend I didn't know who anyone was when I went on set and not call anyone by their character name. So I was like, oh, wow, I've never seen this set before. Just kind of acting super cool, but it was like a real, I felt like a competition winner, which is not a very cool feeling. Yeah, no, I was really glad. It's so gorgeous. I love the show, so...
It's quite a serious story thread as well, which develops through this new series, because at the end of the last series, we saw a doctor prescribing Thalidomide, and that's something which becomes a regular storyline throughout the new series of Call the Midwife.
Yeah, I don't think a drama has, at least a British drama, has tackled it in this way, if at all. I'm not sure on that, and I don't want to kind of say that definitively.
But it's rare anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, it is rare, and it was such a huge... I mean, I didn't know very much about it, and when it was first mentioned at the end of the series before, when they said thalidomide, my mum and dad both had this moment because it was really a big deal in their generation. But obviously they were being people were being prescribed thalidomide, which resulted in limbs of their babies not growing as they were supposed to, and yeah, and it was just a really tragic occurrence, and this kind of awful feeling of the trust of medicine, the kind of assumption that all medicine is good, and then just the realisation that that wasn't true and it wasn't researched properly, and it was this awful kind of repercussion. So yeah, it kind of gets dealt with as a thread that goes through this series.
Yeah, and very sensitively, actually, from what I've seen so far of the programme. Also tell us, because it is quite, some of it's a little bit realistic, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know what you're implying.
There's a lot of blood.
It's amazing.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant that I'm also a scatterbrain.
No. Are you?
Documentary about me. No, and I'm not as nice as my character either. So.
Are you not?
But no, it is quite realistic. Yeah, I mean, I know some people have thought that the actresses who play the mothers are actually pregnant.
Right.
They're not, because that would just be, I mean, traumatic for them.
And there are obviously real babies at some points as
Yeah.
well. How many, are there lots of babies on set, or how does it
Yeah,
work?
there's lots of little babies. They're so sweet. And often you get twins, so that
Oh, right,
if one
okay.
gets tired,
Yeah.
it's very stressful being a baby, sleeping and eating and
I need a
getting
break.
everything you want. Yeah. If one's tired, then another one comes on and is there, like, sort of doing the job.
And are there regular stars?
No,
the
well,
babies?
yes. We have one baby who plays Angela, who's Dr. Turner's baby.
Right, yes.
And she's very sweet, and she's kind of grown up as the series gone on. But you see, the older she gets, the more she's aware of kind of being on set, and I think she's getting a bit more self-conscious about it, which is interesting, because she's getting to a point where she's like, why am I on the telly? So yeah, but they all kind of come back and forth, but normally it's brand new babies who are like 3 weeks old. So
Oh, my
it's really
goodness.
sweet.
You clearly enjoy working on it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming on.
No,
Give us
thanks
a
for
bit-
having
telling
me.
us a bit about it. And you can see Charlotte Private Life starts in the new Victoria Theatre in Woking on the 15th of January, before a nationwide tour as well. And Call the Midwife returns to our screens on the BBC a little bit later on this month.
And good luck, especially with the play.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you.